win your last fight.
What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business, and let's wake up the football gods. Okay, guys, Cowboys up north. Okay, listen. If we're going to talk the talk, we got to walk the walk. Okay, don't keep deleting messages now. You know, just because. Okay, if they're doing personal attacks, that's one thing. Okay. Both
teams are shitty, but he thinks the Cowboys are going to win.
So I mean, come on now. You have been anointed the power. Okay, the power of the wrench, but slow your roll now, okay? You know, let them talk. Because, you know, they're cockroaches. They're cockroaches.
He said something good about our team that he thinks we want to win, even though both teams are shitty.
Yeah, like I said, don't be too quick with the draw. You know, to be quite honest with you, it's cathartic. I think that's the right word. You know, I've got dyslexia, okay? I'm an idiot. I'm the guy who, instead of getting the 12 personnel, I said 12 personal. So actually, it is personal to me, you know?
That's it.
Oh, he said a racist thing? Okay, then if you said a racist thing, cool. That's cool, okay. Mark Catboy running his mouth and the fans telling us fans to just relax. Yeah, you know, I'm kind of sick of that, too. You know, I'm actually kind of sick of Steven and Jerry Jones. But here's the thing. We actually need to go through and listen to the bullshit that we've been handed, okay? So we don't get taken again. See,
what about Lyle Collins?
Well, we're gonna get to Lyle Collins and everything else. Listen. The Cowboys, I tell you what, and let me before I go any further, let me say shout out to Mike Thompson and Chris May. At these two, they got us before the show. Shout out to those two super chats right there. I'm still trying to find out who sent me my right here. Shout out to those two super chats and any new channel members. Jim Laws, my apologies. No. No, yeah, Jim. No, you know what? Like I said, I deserve it. But I wanted people. I'll tell you this: the reason why I did that video wasn't so much to make you guys feel bad about it. That's not what I was trying to do. It was actually one certain person that I wanted to make bad about, you know, because he's a troll. But what I really wanted to do was bring awareness to people who might be dealing with the same thing, to understand, you know, as people make fun of me, you know, what a freaking idiot, man. He's so stupid. Look how dumb he is. Well, you're right. I am so dumb, but I somehow have 47,000 subscribers. So, you know, I guess I like that kind of dumb. And also, I said that because a lot of times, you know, when I'm messing up your guys' names, what's up, Big Wizzy? Big Wizzy with the hot spices up in there. I want you to understand that it's not that I'm lazy or that, you know, I'm just not taking the time or I'm just being stupid. I just can't get them. I just can't. And, you know, I try as I may, and that's where after a while I just kind of like, you know, I'm just a name butcher. So let me say, there's my cousin. See, you know what? You see how the Washington fans are coming out. You know, Daniel, we ain't seen Daniel. When was the last time Daniel came for a game?
When was the last?
Exactly.
Tailgate.
Right.
Not this one.
He like, I'm coming week 4. What you cooking? I'm like, oh, you get a win under your belt and the Cowboys get lost, so you want to come up now, right? Okay.
Did we play Washington week 4?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to be here.
So let me say hello to the ladies here, because see, that's why you trolls are here, because you know we got the prettiest ladies on the internet. There's Casey Stewart. What's up, Casey? There's my girl Stacy Schubert, better known as Roland's Review. I know Miss Hot Sauce is here. I wish I could sample more stuff. You know, sometimes you get away with the samples. I know there's Angelica Baron. There's Joanne Gonzalez. Hold up. Who am I missing? I got Lola. I got Roland. I got Stacy. I know there was one other one. Was it Carrie? Carrie, what's up, Carrie? I hope I didn't miss any of the other ladies. So, and I do need to do the mic check.
Mic sound nice, check 1. My mic sound nice, check 2. My mic sound nice, check 3. Are you ready?
Big Wizzy, I need to come back out to Vegas, man. Because, what happens in Vegas should stay in Vegas. So maybe the Cowboys should go to Vegas and let that happen. Then that way we wouldn't hear about all the nastiness that is.
Washington might win this week. Might actually win this week.
They play the Lions, don't they?
They have a chance.
I don't know, man. The Lions right now have the number 3 rated offense. Rob West, no thank you on the president thing. I appreciate that, but I got too many skeletons.
Better than the Lions.
Well, everybody keeps talking about how good the Eagles are. The Eagles won by 3 points. They let Jared Goff score 35.
At least they won.
Now here,
They did what they were supposed to do. They won.
now
They did what we were supposed to do, and the offense had opportunities to win.
True. Now, here's what's funny is I was talking to Brother Roz. Hold on. I was talking to Brother Roz because y'all know I drafted Dak in all of my leagues. Somehow I think I won 4 out of 7 games in fantasy football with Dak being my quarterback. I don't know how that happened.
One of them was because of the kicker.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Now here's my problem. I got Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield are my options at quarterback.
Well, Baker Mayfield, I think, is going to win this week. He's playing the Jets.
Okay.
So that's.
But Jared Goff, I mean, they scored a whole lot of points. I mean, against Washington, I'm just saying, man, they scored 35.
I would start Baker Mayfield because I got the Jets this week.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Beat the Jets. With a new logo.
So today, shout out to Damn Gina, shout out to Cam Billings, shout out to Michael Anthony Fitness Reaction, everybody who ended up sending me different tweets. And today I kind of got pissed today.
Well,
you want to hear Lyle? Well, Lyle, you know what always happens whenever anybody leaves the Cowboys.
Again, he got lit up by T.J. Watt.
Yeah, well.
And then all you got to do is send Micah Parsons his way and he's done.
Well,
that's what D-Law said.
I'm just checking because every time I get ready to say something, you jump in. Okay. All right. Whenever somebody leaves the Cowboys, they always throw shade on it because it's kind of like you break up. Okay, it's amazing when you're with somebody, right? Oh, he's my man. That's my man. Oh, my man's so good to me. You break up with him, girl. He never did satisfy me. It's like, wait a minute, we were good before. Now why am I trash?
So when's Gregory going to say some mess?
Well, I don't know if Randy will or not. But let's listen to Lyle Collins, what he had to say. And he definitely threw our O-line coach under the bus.
Hell of a play, he's young. He's got juice, he's got energy. That defense kind of goes as he goes.
Yeah.
And, they looked to do a lot of things with him. I remember Micah coming in as a rookie and kind of helping him on his pass rush moves, telling him how to do certain things. So from that standpoint, he's a talented player.
When last season ended, did you think you'd be playing in Dallas this year?
Honestly, I mean, I thought about a lot of different things, but to be back here with Frank and to get coached, by a great offensive line coach, somebody that also played the position, was big for me. I got to that point in my career to where I felt like I wasn't getting the things that I needed, and coming here was definitely that was definitely the reason why.
What things do you think you needed? You mean coaching wise?
I mean, at this stage in my career, any player wants to be coached and wants to be coached hard and wants that feedback. So I think Frank does a great job at that. Obviously playing a position, he knows it's all about, the Johnny and Joe's, not the X's and O's. You know what I mean? So, it's one of those things.
When you realized that that you wouldn't be playing in Dallas this year, was it tough, or did you view it as a new opportunity and an exciting next step?
I mean, it was definitely viewed it as
I'm with you on that, Big Wizzy.
opportunity, fresh start for me, and being able to choose where I got to go was huge.
How did you think week one went for you?
I think it was okay. I think it was solid. I think obviously when I watch the tape, I'm my biggest critic. So, there's a lot of things that I want to do. I feel like I'm finally getting my football pad legs up under me, and everything is starting to turn over.
What was the biggest?
Start to turn over like your quarterback. He turned over a lot.
Second half. What did you feel more comfortable with in the second half, as opposed to maybe the
Nothing.
first quarter?
I mean,
All right.
obviously.
That was the end of the interview. Things are starting to turn over. I think he was talking about his quarterback because he had 4 interceptions, was sacked 7 times. 7 times. Wow. Well,
And guess who brought him in? Mike McCarthy.
It's
like our defensive coordinator we had prior to what we have now. Mike McCarthy brought him in here, and then they bring in the guy we have now, and then look what happens in defense.
Well,
we're supposed to get better at the what's his name was here, the older gentleman was here, and then that got worse.
Shout out to Cowboys Up North, 26 months.
This is Mike McCarthy's fault.
Well,
when it comes to O-line coach, I don't blame him for the offensive coordinator because he has no control over Kellen Moore. That's the Joneses. But the offensive coordinator, line coach, you pick the guy. This falls on Mike McCarthy. While our O-line is terrible.
Have y'all noticed something here? I don't know, but Mary, what's up, Mary? How you doing tonight, Mary? Have you noticed how crystal clear and loud Michael has been tonight? Dude, I mean, I can hardly get a word. Michael is fired up. He's bringing in the heater.
His ass.
Look,
on the offensive line.
Mike, are you upset about the Cowboys right now?
Well, it's Mike McCarthy's fault. Their offensive line is terrible.
Well, Mike McCarthy basically says, hey, don't look at me on the offense. That's Kellen Moore.
Who picked the coach? Who picked almost all the coaches? Mike McCarthy.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
The majority of the coaches he picked. He didn't
I would love to bring back Marco Colombo. Do you still think Dak is the quarterback for the Cowboys? The problem, okay. The problem is, and a lot of people say just change the quarterback. And this is where me and Brother Roz, we have conversations all the time. Shout out to Brother Roz. You know what? If you go through, because it's easy to point the fingers at and say it's just a quarterback.
It's a coach.
Okay. And we've been there before because for years we said Tony Romo sucks and we need to replace him. And wait a minute, let me get this point across. Because 2015, we ended up getting an opportunity to see what it would be without Tony Romo. Because everybody was like, man, I'm done with Tony Romo. Let's get rid of him. He sucks. And he got injured in 2015 with a team that was a catch-no-catch away from the NFC Championship game. And we won one game without Tony Romo that season. Now, we got lucky, and this is the thing about the Joneses. The Joneses, it's better to be lucky than good, as they say, because it seems like we always get enough players that come through and save their ass, because Dak Prescott was not the plan. There was no plan to replace Tony Romo, the same way as there was no plan to back up Tyron Smith. This is history repeating itself. This is the Jones selling us about, literally.
I say it again, you've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. This is what he does.
We've been fed bullshit. We've been told, now we got Jerry Jones. I understand the fans are frustrated. They should be, but they ought to understand I ain't selling the team.
Jerry?
That's Jerry Jones?
No. Jerry the Joke Jones. That's what I'm going to start calling from now on.
The snake oil salesman.
The Triple J.
Well,
Triple J.
Here we have to say, da-da-dunt, da-da-dunt.
Damn, Gina.
And of course, what's up, Gina Thorne?
Triple J.
All right.
Triple J.
All right, so we literally took, and we always talk, well, stat Prescott, Cowboys offense is not that good. Right, well, we were statistically the number one. Right now, points we are 32.
Our receivers look like trash. I think Mike McCarthy brought that guy in too.
What, the wide receiver coach?
He brought everybody but Kellen Moore and maybe a couple other coaches. Everybody else he brought in.
Yeah, well.
Before they got rid of Mike Nolan, I think that's his name. Before they got rid of him and crew, Mike McCarthy picked this by all his coaches.
Well.
And the team went downhill.
Yeah.
That falls on Mike McCarthy.
I'm gonna step away for a while. I'm just gonna let Mike run the show tonight because Mike is fired up today.
His ass.
Okay, but listen, it's only one game. No. I am gonna tell you what's going to happen with this. No, listen to me. I'm gonna tell you.
CeeDee Lamb to catch balls, not drop them.
Okay, all right.
You a number one, you're supposed to catch the ball.
Well, maybe he wasn't really a number one.
He's not a number one.
And unfortunately, they made him one.
If you look at last year, half the season dropped balls and he dropped 2 touchdowns last season.
Yes. Now, let me tell you how this is going to go. Okay? Because what happens with the Cowboys, now, we're all emotional right now. We are pissed off. Maybe we somehow sneak out a win against Cincinnati. I actually think we actually do, but maybe not. But I tell you what's going to happen is, no, just listen to me. Listen to me, son. What's going to happen is the Cowboys, they'll get Jason Peters in shape and he'll help out the offensive line. Tyler Smith will settle in and he'll be an okay offensive lineman, right? Maybe Kellen Moore realizes I've got to run the damn football because I've got Cooper Rush. And much like in 2014, we found out, being able to run the football, we win games. The defense will be good. You'll get back Michael Gallup. Maybe you get James Washington. That will help. They'll start using some 12 personnel. We'll lose a bunch of games between now and Dak getting back. But then as we get through the softer part of our schedule, the Cowboys will turn it around. They'll either get close to the playoffs or they'll make the playoffs. And then Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, see, I told you, trust the process. We know what we're doing. No, you got lucky. You got lucky that the guys stepped in.
The majority of the coaches and our defense went downhill.
The team is worth $8 billion and revenues increase every year. They would never. We know they're never going to sell the team.
Of course
they're not.
That's a cash cow.
And the thing is, and this is where you actually wonder because Jerry Jones constantly tells you bullshit. 1 + 1 = 3. And, you like to have people talking. Sometimes you wonder, is he doing this stuff intentionally so that there is bullshit out here? Oh, Alan, he is fired. I'm telling you, Alan, he's fired up tonight. He doesn't like to see the team being ass. It's okay if they're bad, but they're ass.
Of course, CeeDee Lamb is ass.
Damn morning show.
CeeDee Lamb is ass.
Okay, but there's time.
There's no time.
No. Son, listen to me. Listen to me, son.
CeeDee Lamb's a bust.
Listen to me, son. Never get too excited or too upset by what you see in September. Let me give you a perfect example. Kansas City last week against the Cardinals, 44-21. They blew. They were like, oh my God, they're a well-oiled machine. They got the win last night, and Justin Herbert actually has a fractured rib.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and that's where I was looking last night. I was like, the way he's wincing in pain, I don't know how he's out there. I'm like, he's got some shit broken. He's hurt, so I don't know how long he's going to be out or if he's going to be playing with a flat jacket or what. Mark, do we need damn Gina to calm Michael Anthony down? We might. No, he's like, no, hell no. They're getting my fury tonight.
Until we win, I'm going to be like this.
But hold up. Look at what happened with Kansas City last night. Now, they got the win. But quite frankly, if Samuels could have held on to one of those damn interceptions.
They won the game because their defense, I think, was a pick 6.
Yeah.
That's what won the game.
That was where fatigue made a coward of us all.
Because number 7 was at the spot.
Yeah.
He threw the ball and then he went around the defender and the defender got pick 6. All you got to do is stay in that one spot. I think he was on the 1 yard line and he would have got, at least gave him a chance to score. put some points on the board.
CD is not a bust, just not a number one as of today. Well, you know what?
I don't think.
I tell you what. Hold on. I'm going to do something.
Is Washington number one or Gallup number one? I think they're better than CD.
I don't think we really have a number one right now. Somebody will be in the number one slot. But as a CD said, we used to have, Gallup, and we used to have Amari. We had 3 number ones. Now it's just me. And so now you're looking at me.
Now you're crying when you're so happy to be number one.
Here's the thing that bothers me is we're always in reactionary mode instead of preventative mode.
And that's the other thing, too. They anointed him number 88 before he was even ready to take that role. And now you're the number one.
Eagle fans.
And now you're the number one.
I would tread lightly.
And I agree, Diggs.
You barely beat the Lions last week. You let Jared Goff and offense score 35 points on you. I might slow your roll a little bit.
They did enough to win.
Prime time. Dalton Schultz is our number one. You're right about that. He had more yards than anybody else.
If the Eagles win this week, then I'll be like, okay, y'all something to fear. Win this week, and I feel different.
Okay, Joseph, we got you. More use of Schultz, Ferguson, and Pollard and Zeke blocking. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to see Tony Pollard blocking. Get Tony Pollard out there to catch the football.
Because he's good at that. Zeke Elliott's not good at catching the ball, but Tony Pollard is.
Okay, so Mike is fired up. I don't know. I don't ever remember Mike being fired up like this tonight.
He fired up because he got embarrassed on Tuesday?
I'm wondering if he's been hanging out with, I love weed or something, and I love weed past the Dutchie or something.
That's probably Zeke Elliott.
I don't know if it's a must-win game because, you've got Minnesota playing against the Eagles. The Giants who's the Giants playing? The Giants are playing Carolina?
Carolina. They might.
Okay.
Win on that.
They might. They might, but they might have blown their wad last week. Barkley ended up having a great game. They might have.
Saying that they might squeak out.
And then Washington's got to play the Lions. I think the Lions are actually better than people give them credit for.
We'll see.
That or the Eagles suck. I think I'd rather the Lions suck.
If the Eagles win this weekend on Monday night, then that's the game I'll be like.
Well, I tell you what.
If they win on Monday, the other two I don't care either way.
Mike Thompson, what's up, Mike Thompson? Another super chat from my man Mike. There we go. I tell you what I will do. Me and Mike, we found these.
At 7-Eleven.
These are the new Pacquiao chip. This is, actually, it's only Reaper Pepper and Scorpion Pepper. There's only listed 2 on there. I thought it was 3.
No, it's 3.
I thought it had the Trinidad. No, he said it was 3.
I think it was 3.
No, it's right there. It says the Reaper Pepper and the Scorpion Pepper. If the Cowboys win.
That's the same as last year, then, because that's the same.
No, it's not the same. If the Cowboys, I'm going to call this the Cowboys chip. This chip right here, this one, turns your tongue blue as it burns that mother humper out. Now, I'm assuming that's like a blue flame. Turns your tongue blue. The Reaper Pepper and Scorpion Pepper One Chip Challenge 2022. If the Cowboys win, and we're an early game, Cowboys win, it's going down for real.
Get John on that too, because he needs.
It's going down. Man, John, I've given up on that. John ain't going to do that. It's always something. Tony Douglas, as well as all of us, we don't have the horses to be good, and that's the problem. Jerry Jones, they got us all hyped with Houston. Oh, that Houston looks really good. We got Turpin out there. We don't need Amari Cooper. Yeah, And I bought into that hook, line, and sinker.
But Turpin's only doing kick returns or punt.
Yeah, and then of course you think that we have the boy wonder in Kellen Moore, who
golden child.
God,
I can't blame Mike McCarthy for picking him, for him being on the staff, but.
Look, Joseph Hudson says, I hope to see you win so you can say, yeah, I see y'all would love to see me eat that chip, wouldn't you?
But the thing is, though, Mike McCarthy can say something to the man and give him hints.
Damn, Jim lost. Damn, Gina saw Mark's earlier tacos, so I ordered DoorDash taco supremes with hot sauce just now. Regained feeling on my lips. Damn, Jim lost. Dallas has the horses. They have the horses on defense. And see, if you got a defense, it can keep you in the game.
They did last week, but we couldn't.
And see, this is why. Okay,
because they're kicking nothing but field goals, and we had a chance to at least put a touchdown on the board.
And this is why I think the Cowboys actually have a chance in this game. No, think about this. Joe Burrow is good, but he's not as good as Tom Brady. He's not. Now he does have Jamar Chase. I will give you that. But his offensive line,
got lit up by TJ.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. We got 2 sacks on Tom Brady, and Tom Brady, gets rid of that ball fast. And Joe Burrow. He holds on to that mother hopper. He holds on to it. And so you start saying, okay, we can get to it. They turn over the football. They had 5 turnovers and 7 sacks. If we can get 5 turnovers on Joe Burrow, 5, and realize that we need to run the football. And I know that's a big realization, but, Mike McCarthy, he let us know that, hey, I'm actually in there, Kellen Moore, likes to call an aggressive game. And, sometimes you got to understand that you can't do that. So, I'm sitting in there. If what I've heard is actually true, that basically he's told, no, you can't touch the offense, that Kellen Moore is the guy. Of course
he can't, because he was told that he can't call the plays.
I'm like, why did you take this job?
Because he didn't have another job. I thought the analytic business was going good.
But I'm just kind of like,
if you had the analytic business, why don't you stick with that instead of going back to coaching?
You have no say into trying to save your job, and you have been literally set up to be the fall guy.
I would say something if it gets me fired, but I'd rather have to win than keep my job at the end of the day.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Wait, hold on. Are you new here? Fly, Eagles, fly. You run this chat? Is that right? Did I properly welcome you here?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Bye, Felicia.
Y'all stand.
What I want you to know, Fly, Eagles, fly, is this.
There's a couple of them.
23-hour lockdown. I'm the man up in this piece. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
That's right. He ain't got shit on me. You're welcome in here, but you don't run a goddamn thing, Fly, Eagles, fly. This is my house. And if you don't like it, get the F out. How about that one?
I wouldn't say Jalen Hurts is garbage, but not top tier.
Well, we'll see.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is garbage. I don't think, but he's not top tier. He's like middle of the road.
Jackson boy, did you see Kellen Joseph in preseason there, buddy? He was not good. He was not good. I think they'll work it out. McCarthy needs his brittle and Kellen Moore to handle it. Well, you know what? I tell you, though, Jerry Jones seems like they're beginning to feel a little bit of the pressure, though, now. Okay? Now, again, I'm beginning to feel like they, for once, are beginning to get a little of this pressure. I haven't heard so many people going after Mike McCarthy as I have Kellen Moore, but everybody is really going, this is on the doorsteps of Steven and Jerry Jones. Steven Jones, we didn't spend all the cap money. Well, yes, you did, in the sense of the way things used to be done. Okay? In the sense of the way things used to be done. You did not in the way things are now going to be. Okay? Because you might not want to say God like that. Did I say? Okay, you're right. Okay, cool. Thank you, Jason D. Getting you riled up, Mark. Don't fall for it. No, but understand what we saw last night. It used to be Thursday Night Football was kind of like, nobody cares about Thursday Night Football. But now it's Amazon. That's $1 billion, okay? I want you to understand what Amazon is paying right now, that $1 billion for Thursday Night Football.
Or 15 weeks of the season.
Right. But see, I understand this.
15.
That's more money than what DirecTV was paying for Sunday Ticket. They had all of the games on Sunday Ticket, and they were paying less money for that than what Amazon is paying for Thursday Night Football.
Did they figure out who's going to get Sunday Ticket?
No, that's still being fought out between Amazon and Apple. I'm sorry, not Amazon, Google and Apple. They were originally talking about Apple being $3 billion for Sunday Ticket. But then all of a sudden Google said, hey, wait a minute, hold up. And I hope it's Google because I don't do Apple. I don't do Apple. I like apples, but I don't do apples. But I don't have anything Apple wise. I am like I'm like I'm anti-Apple.
Either one will be
I don't want to pay nothing to Apple. Okay? Listen, when I don't like it. I don't want nothing. I don't want Apple. I don't want nothing Apple. No.
Have the telephone or the computer. It's just an app to watch the game.
Hey, Mark, we're going to look, now we got Giant fans talking about they're going to switch. Come on, man.
I think it's too soon for that.
You know,
when this
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
See, remember what happened Dak Prescott's rookie year? They squeaked into the playoffs. All the Giants fans care about was beating Dallas, and they lost the games.
Man, you guys smell blood in the water. Kellen Moore is the new adopted son for the Cowboys. But anyway, so here's the thing. You saw what most teams did. They ended up backloading the contracts because they know, boom, that there's going to be a lot of money next year because none of that new money is there. So yeah, Stephen Jones. Well, we've spent all. No, you didn't. You're full of shit. We got to have money on the table to pay other guys because we paid it all. You know what? Dak isn't even a top 5 paid quarterback anymore. Lamar Jackson turned down a $230 million deal.
Because he wants all guaranteed.
He turned down a $230 million deal.
He wants Deshaun Watson money. That's what he wanted.
Yeah. Well, he wants more guaranteed. And
He wants to
with as much running as he does, I can't say I blame him.
These are,
because we see how easy it is, how quick. Look, you got Joe Burrow. Justin Herbert with a cracked rib. You got Dak Prescott with a broken hand.
The thumb. Yeah.
Right. So, your career can end real quick. So, yeah, I'm out there taking the bullets for the team. Pay me. You're getting billions of dollars like crazy. I want my share. Ditch the O-line coach and more. Would love to, but they're not going to do that at this point. All Dallas needs is a receiver that can run routes like Cooper and get himself open. Danielle Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, shout out to becoming a channel member.
He came with our house. That's Junior.
That's Junior? That's DJ?
Yeah, DJ.
Hey, DJ, won't you play that song? Shout out to DJ, man. Sorry I couldn't get a win for you, DJ. I'm sorry. I hope the food was okay. But you are welcome at any time to come back, my friend. Hopefully the Cowboys get us a win. So, if the Cowboys win, I'm going to eat the chip. What do you think? Are you saying I'm safe?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't what? Eat the chip?
Not
you know what?
Not this soon in the season. I wouldn't. I would at some point.
Quite frankly, if we get this win right here, it could save the season. You don't think so? You don't want to start, because you start at 0-2, your chances of making the playoffs are a lot lower than if you do not start out 0-2. This game's important. I'm going to put $50 on Cooper Rush will gift us 5 picks.
Yeah, I want to play him on Monday night.
Okay. Just buy 4 bags. Just buy 4 bags of what? Who can be the OC if we fire more? Just asking. Mike will call plays. Hell, I might be better off without an offensive coordinator than that guy.
Just have Mike McCarthy call the plays. He did enough to help Green Bay get to the Super Bowl in our house.
No team made the playoffs as an 0-2 and 2. Okay, thank you, Ross. Thank you for stealing my thunder. So, in other words, I need to be eating that chip. That chip is safe. The hell it is. Just win the damn game, please. The Cowboys need to win bad. Because, again, like Roz just put it out, last year, nobody made the playoffs after starting off 0-2. Jason, I'll give that tomorrow because I haven't really thought about that. Me either, Mark. 1 chip per bag, 1 chip per win. Oh, shit. Well, there's only 1 chip in this pack. So, I see what you're saying. I see you're saying I only need 4. You know what?
So I have to go 7-Eleven again and get
Roz, you know I love you, Roz, but fuck you, Roz. Excuse my language, Dad.
That's the thing you do once in your lifetime. Maybe twice in your lifetime. You don't do it for every win.
I didn't say I was going to do it for every win. I was going to say
That's
just
someone in the chat suggested they do it for every win.
Oh, that was Roz. David Wiley. David, are you coming through this weekend? I know you're a busy man. Because if you are, we got the game day sandwiches. We're doing a Greek grilled chicken feta cheese with basil sub.
But you have to
So, because Cincinnati is known for Greek food and chili on spaghetti, so we'll also have hot dogs. So we'll have chili dogs.
just make sure you markinize it.
Tony, I haven't figured that one out yet. I got to figure out. It depends on how long Dak's going to be out, because I got to see Dak. I'm not going all the way to Dallas to see Cooper Rush. I'm sorry, just not going to do it. Steven and Jerry are the blame, and see that is the key thing. And I hope everybody keeps the pressure on.
Most of his coaches.
Keeps the pressure on Jerry. Now, I hate to do this to y'all, but I just want you to listen to our fearless leader. Shout out to 103.5 The Fan. I don't usually use their stuff, but I think it's necessary. We have to understand where the fault lies, and the only way you're going to get that is every loss of chip you're never going to be able to taste again. Mark, when you and Pizzle going to make a bet? Y'all need to get Troy Aikman out of retirement. Dak will be back for the Eagles game, I bet. We need to understand what we're dealing with here with Jerry Jones. And I hate to say it, but I think he is getting like the Raiders, like Al Davis. He's getting crazy. Nathan Henry, stop panicking. It's going to be okay. That's what Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones told us. Let's listen into Jerry Jones here.
Looking at and trying to get a little education on broadcasting. But I got it real quick after I got involved in the NFL that NFL's I Love Lucy, which at that time, most of you listening don't know I Love Lucy, but it was the hottest thing in the world. And it cost you more than the rest of the programming put together almost to buy a rerun. And so I said, I want the NFL to become the I Love Lucy. Well, and I want us to be that in demand on television.
It definitely is at this point. Now, Jerry, last year, Vic Fangio said they had the blueprint on stopping this Cowboys team, this offense. And then this week, linebacker Devin White said that they knew exactly what the Cowboys offense was doing. How concerning is it that your offense is being said to be predictable this early in the season?
Let's see, we finished up after that Denver game, which was very disappointing last year, but we did have more offense. But after that Denver game, what was our record last year?
Pretty good, 12-5.
Okay. Well, if that can get a replay by knowing what it is we're doing by one of our opponents, and we can come up with the same record, I'll take it.
Do you ever think how much better, though, that perhaps, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but how much better perhaps that record even could be, or the playoff success
right
could be, if maybe teams were not as familiar with what might play out?
When I first got on the competition committee 20-something years ago, Don Shula was the chairman, and Marty Schottenheimer and Flores, and I was the only non-coach on the committee. And we had just won the Super Bowl. And Don Shula and Schottenheimer told me, he said, do you know that every club in the league had y'all signals? And we knew whether you were going to run it or pass it, and we almost knew which way you were going to go. And we haven't stopped you yet.
I want to stop right there for a second.
You see what the guy who's drinking the water tastes like? What am I?
That's not water. That's liquor. No, he's drinking liquor.
But he said, what am I? I think he mouthed, what am I listening to? I think that's why I got from Illinois. I was like, what am I listening to?
So, yes, you cannot compare this team to the team of the 90s, because back then, you had too deep of every position. You had the Great Wall of Dallas. You had a true number one and alpha male in Michael Irvin. You had the number one defense. You had backups. You can't say that this team can get away with people knowing the plays. Are you stupid or senile? Seriously.
Senile.
Seriously. That team had how many Hall of Famers? Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Larry Allen, Charles Haley, Darren Woodson should be there. How many Hall of Famers do you think we have on this team right now? Seriously, how many Hall of Famers do we think we have? Maybe, Zach Martin and Tyron Smith. And right now, Tyron Smith isn't on this team right now because he's broken up.
Yeah, his career is done.
Now, maybe Micah Parsons becomes that Hall of Famer. Maybe Diggs does, but I don't look and see. I don't see all these Hall of Famers like we had on that team. But let's go on a little more.
And you won the Super Bowl. And everybody knew what you were going to do.
So, Jerry, when it comes to this week, Cooper Rush is making the start. My background as a former major league pitcher, a lot of times hitters will say, hey, sometimes the toughest guys to hit are the minor leaguers that come up that there's very little information on. Do you feel like you have a better chance to win with Cooper Rush, that there's really only one game that the Bengals can look at in his career, and that's the Minnesota Vikings game?
Our team will address this literally from within. From within. I was talking to a great coach last night,
look at the
and not on our staff, and he'd had similar situations. And it's not a coach; it's coached here. And he said, "You look for the answer, maybe outside, maybe another quarterback." And he said the answer's from within, and he told of a season that he had that he lost his quarterback and then turned around and won 4 of the next 5. He said everybody's got to be a little better. The block, you got to hold your block longer. You got to do a little better. Everybody steps up and be's a little better, and you realize that at the end of the day, this was a team game, and that everybody, all 40 of them, had to go out there and step their game up. And so he said, actually, sometimes you look for a challenge like this. Now you say, well, that's an optimist, or that's not real enough. Well, there's a whole bunch of this game that's internal. There's a whole bunch of this game that's attitude. There's a whole bunch of this game that's will. And so you have got to realize that any one player can go down, or any 2 players can go down. And so my point is, I'm not going to get as hung up on the new pitcher. I'm not going to get as hung up on that, although it's real and it's something that you should dwell on. It's the overall reaction
but what about the quarterback?
Situation.
Okay, we understand the pitcher, but what about the quarterback?
McCarthy was talking during camp and multiple different times about the penalties and cleaning up the penalties and making sure that we were all squared away there. And there were 10 offensive penalties in the first week.
10 penalties.
When do you expect to see that improvement in that area?
Well, I would have thought we would have improved from where we were. I know the point of emphasis through training camp. I know the point of emphasis through that's done as late as last week. And so that certainly if you look at the fact that we were, I think, 11 times we were within, on third down, we were in very makeable situations. But we were within the range where you're supposed to make it on third down, and we didn't most of those times. That answers your question about a lot of things. And did you do it because of a penalty that stopped you, or it wasn't a penalty that didn't get you in a position to make a first down because you were there 11 times?
11 for some wine.
And didn't do it. And so you got to improve in everything, of course, but we've got to do a better job on third down.
This guy is like...
I don't know whether I'm answering, but I'm not. Penalty, you say, the ones that kept you from getting to first down again, certainly pre-snap. really need to be focused on, but that's stepping it up. Everybody's stepping it up.
If you mentioned a couple of weeks ago that one of the things you like about Jason Peters is he can play on the left side or the right side. If those penalties did not get cleaned up, specifically for somebody like Terrence Steele, who had a rough first week one, could you envision Jason Peters taking over at right tackle?
First, we've got to get Jason to where he's physically ready to play any of the positions. And he's not there yet, but he's getting there fast. Then there's no doubt he has the ability to swing and getting there fast.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward because I want to get to this last bit in here. And because
Jalen Tolbert dress and play on Sunday?
Again, we'll see how the week goes, and we'll just see how the week goes. Again, Houston's had to name another receiver specifically. We're iffy on a couple of situations there as far as whether they'll be ready or not, but we'll see how it goes.
And before we let you go, Jerry, every week we have listeners and Tolos out there that get mad after this interview because we didn't come on and cuss you and demand that you sell the team. And you and I butted head times before. That being said, do you have like a hotline or a suggestion box we can direct those angry Cowboys fans to?
Yeah. Why don't you one of these days, we used to do that, is have fans call in and I'd answer a question. I'd be mad too. I will tell you this right now. The best way to get something done is it comes straight into me. Comes straight in. And I don't have politics. I don't have 2 or 3 people in between and get into all of those kinds of things. It comes straight into that. And those same fans know I'll never sell this team.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're busy now, but whenever you're not busy, I will go ahead and I would be glad to book that segment at any point, and I'm sure our bosses would be glad to book that.
Okay. I want to bring up one more thing here because this just came from I love this because this is my thing is now because now all of a sudden we had Dak out there, right? The guy that everybody complains we pay too much money and everything, and well, wait a minute, but listen to me for a second. You get Kellen Moore, who is getting his quarterback killed, and I remember sitting here, or actually sitting out there last Saturday saying how the Dallas Cowboys get a win, and I said when we did the Zoom call, we'll be doing it again tomorrow. I said, listen, the way you're going to be able to win this game is using 12 personnel, using 2 tight ends, and running the football, establishing the run, using your tight ends as a weapon. Get your offensive lineman, Tyler Smith, some, good reps at running the football, run blocking. And I said, if you end up doing, where you're throwing 40, 50 times, you will not win. I said, because guys are going to start teeing off. They're going to pin their ears back. They're going to come after you. And with these young receivers, they're not going to get open. And damn it, I hate to say it, I was right. Right? So now all of a sudden, here's what you hear. Well, we're going to run the football more now. We're going to have to block better. Everybody's got to pick up. So wait. And now we have this whole revisionist history of, Cooper Rush, the same way they said there's not much of a drop off from from Dak Prescott to Andy Dalton. So here's what we got right here. Phil Simms said there isn't a huge drop off between Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott.
My question is, my number one question is...
Hand me my bottle. It's time to drink.
My question is that with Dak Prescott on the field or off the field in his ear? Because he won that game with the man in his ear. So
Phil Simms says there isn't a huge drop-off between Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott. But see, here's what'll happen. Now, we'll go ahead and probably start doing some 12 personnel. Now... will probably start doing running Zeke Elliott, who was getting 5.2 yards a carry. Now we'll probably start doing some 12 personnel here to try and help out the quarterback. When Dak was out there, we ain't helping shit. We're going to launch the ball 70% of the damn time. We're going to throw the football all the time. But like I said, here's Richard Sherman. So, and I love this, Richard Sherman. Shout out to you. So they're going to work harder to protect the backup quarterback than they did the big money quarterback. Okay, there isn't much drop off. Laughed my ass off. Wow. Shout out, Richard Sherman. Shout out to you, buddy.
Just got a job with working Thursday Night Football. Shout out to that guy. That's like, my thing is, why they're saying all this stuff? Because they like to be in the media. That's all they care about. Clicks and a dollar bill. That's all they care about. Clicks and a dollar bill. They don't care about the team.
When Andy Dalton, the difference between Andy Dalton and Dak Prescott was 10 points a game. 10 points a game.
I think
there's not a drop off between Dak Prescott. Come on, man.
I think Andy Dalton's better
Come on,
than
man.
This guy than Cooper Rush.
Eastside Herald. Shut up.
Now, if Dak Prescott,
I'll take the money, but shut up.
It's all about the clicks and the dollar bill. That's all.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, real hate, man, that's like an art form, man. It's like you like a born a hater, like myself.
Damn, Gina's like shots.
Man,
Cooper Rush is 10 times better than Whack Trash Cut.
Nice car, man. Why you got a car, man? I only got one car. Why you got 3 cars or a wife or all that, man? That's played out, man. I hate on it till he's totally broke.
Amen,
ain't got nothing
Ivan.
Like me, you know what I'm saying? Cause,
they need to show us enough talk.
Man.
Careful, Mark. I might lose that bottle. You need to take a shot too, Mike. So true, Mark. Mark, this is what comes with the territory when you're paid $40 million per year. But hold on, Cedric.
That's not the territory.
Hold on.
This quarterback's getting paid way more than Dak.
Wait. So,
Deshaun Watson.
Aaron Rodgers had almost as bad a game as Dak Prescott did.
His game was worse. It was worse.
How was it worse? I mean, he had a few more yards. He had an interception just like Dak. No touchdowns.
You see his facial expressions.
And honestly, if the rookie had caught that one pass that was in his hands, it would have been different. But be that as it may,
he's a rookie though, so get a pass.
Aaron Rodgers didn't do a whole lot. You can look at Matthew Stafford. I know he just won the Super Bowl with his team, but Matthew Stafford, 3 interceptions, wasn't it? And it should have been a couple more than that. And was missed throwing people left and right. Forever Fashion Runway. There we go. Get ready for the stupidity to continue Sunday. Well, unfortunately, that's right. Roz, you're actually the man. Roz is an owner, NFL owner. He owns a piece of the Green Bay Fudge Packers.
Even though it's not his team.
Well, it is his team. He owns part of them.
That's not the team that roots for every Sunday.
And I'm still trying to find out who sent me the gong. I want to know. It came from Amazon. I'd really like to know so I can properly thank you. Dak's going to be worse than Aaron Rodgers' game.
No, I said talking about the game.
Dak was worse than Aaron Rodgers' game. Well, I might say that Tampa Bay is a better defensive team than the Vikings, maybe. I mean, I could be wrong on that one.
But we're not playing Minnesota.
They did not do Moore's contract. They suck too. Laugh out loud and Stafford dreams. Need the gong. Like I said, I love it. I have done this thing quite a bit. We need to do a drawing tonight too, don't we? How about the Micah print tonight? Because Micah needs to go off. For us to have a chance, we're going to be doing, in just a minute, we'll do a drawing here. Since we need Micah Parsons to go off, okay? And not as in go off on Undisputed. In fact, let me ask you that, Mike.
Is it going on this week?
I don't know. But what I'm hoping...
No. We have to win for him to go on, as Shannon Sharp said. Oh, you got to get a win.
What I hope he just says, you know what? Screw you guys. Because, see, that's the problem with the Cowboys is, we end up bringing, First Take to the Star. You know, we fly them in. I sent the gift to Butter. Okay, yeah, right. We know you did not do that, Eastside. We know you did not. So stop lying.
Tell us to send you something.
You know, we had a gift for you, and you wouldn't send us your address. So stop lying, Eastside. Parsons will go off.
But the thing
I actually hope he doesn't go on because it's like.
Don't forget about the part when Jerry Jones flew Stephen A. Smith in on his private helicopter.
That's what I'm saying. You know, that was great, and that was right when we found out Tyron Smith was out. I believe that practice.
That's when they were talking about it all over. No, this was the day before. He went out the day before.
Right, and you know, here it is. We got First Take and stuff in there, and
Tyron Smith this,
and then you got Micah Parsons. Oh, I'm going to go during the week every Tuesday. Who does that? I mean, other than Aaron Rodgers going on Pat McAfee.
That's a smaller show than Undisputed.
I need some new music to get me through these times. Ron, you know what happened to me this morning? Ron, I meant to send you an email. I used my
Coach here, as always, I want to thank you all for watching.
And I got copyrighted by you, Ron. Or at least the YouTube bots copyrighted it. So I meant to actually send you an email and say that they got me on it. But yes, Ron, I need something that's uplifting and upbeat to help us out. So if you help a brother out, we definitely need something new. Now I can't do tequila. You know, Jobu is a rum guy, and I'm I had a bad experience one time with tequila, man, and still to this day, yeah.
The tequila and shrimp is good.
I know, but see, over at
oh yeah, I remember. I was little, but I remember.
Damn.
I think I went home before it happened. But
I got so drunk. That they put Washington Redskin blankets on me. Okay, I was so drunk off first I started with beer and then went to tequila that I was passed out on the floor, but I was wide awake, so I knew that they were taking pictures of me with a Redskin blanket on, and they painted my fingernails black. So it's like, since that time, I can't do Zeppelin van. What's up, Zeppelin? Long time no see. Put lime in a coconut. I'm just a rum man. I just that.
Cooking with tequila.
That was like 20 years ago.
I like it when you cook with it, but I can't drink it straight.
Tequila makes your clothes fall off. Okay. Just makes you question the development process. But seriously, so I can't do tequila. I can smell tequila now, and it just kind of gets to me. So yeah, I just don't do it. Need to get this to Dallas Drama. I think, Brother Ross, I'm not taking a shot for every super chat there. I'll give you a gong. I'm not trying to get drunk here on Friday night. I got a lot to do tomorrow to get ready for the game. Brother Roz, who is kind of like the sensei, so to speak, I think he thinks the Cowboys actually have a chance here.
Well, their offensive line is as bad as ours.
If the defense can do the thing, if Kellen Moore can at least keep doing threes and outs with the passing game where you're only burning off 30 seconds, and at least run the football and get a couple of first downs and let the defense, be at least rested some, we might have a chance. Got you. Send you the permissions for it. Cool, Ron. I appreciate that. Tequila is unbearable. All right, you ready to do this drawing? So we're getting ready to do this drawing. You'll see who's going to be the winner of a Micah Parsons print. We actually been busy today. Actually, last couple of days. All of the tailgate members. I'm just about finished with all of.
I need is the boxes.
Well, I got okay. But you didn't tell me what size I have to order because I know we have some, but I don't think we have. I think about 35 is how many are going out.
We don't.
Good Lord.
We can get some of them out.
Not sensei, psychopath. Ooh. Well, David, I don't know that they're really that bad, as in the worst. I think they might be a little bit better, but we'll see. All right, who's our winner? I hope it's Eastside Herald, and we'll send him a Micah Parsons. All right, let's see. Who do we have here? Donnell Jenkins, Mr. Jenkins.
He come by and pick it up next time.
Oh, that's DJ. Yeah. Oh,
I picked that one out.
Okay. Random. All right. Well, DJ, I hope you picked it out random. You just went into the hopper.
Yeah, I did. I went there deep.
Hey, DJ, won't you play that song? Keep me dancing, dancing. Joseph Hudson, my name's in the drawing. Yes, if you did a super chat, it is. Mike does the writes the names and puts them in there when he's here. When he's not with da-da-dunt, damn Gina, he takes care of it.
At least this one we can get to next time.
We don't know if Tolbert or Cox. I think Cox will be. I'm not sure about Tolbert.
But we would have known by now if he was playing.
We do know Sam Williams will be.
But they announced that earlier in the week, which is obvious because.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Joneses, and we beat the dead horse a lot. But here's the thing. You look at last year's team from the draft, and we looked at it and we said, we actually had a pretty good draft because we got Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, outstanding. And then we had Osa and Digizua, who played pretty good. So you got a second starter there. And Goldston actually got some time. Other than that, you didn't really get that much playing time from your draft. Now, Jabril Cox started out, but he got injured, right? So you got 4 guys that actually played. 1 was injured. So you really got 1 great player and 2 guys that were more like role players, right? So going into this year, the Joneses figure we're going to get a starter at tackle. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get a couple of receivers because we're going to replace a Pro Bowler and Amari Cooper with, Jalen Tolbert, a 3rd-round pick. And then we're going to go ahead and get like maybe Semi from the year before, and he's going to be a great starter, right?
Well, he actually played. He was the best one on the team.
We're going to get Sam Williams to replace, Randy Gregory. He literally put all his eggs in rookies in the draft instead of saying, I need some veterans. What's wrong with Derek? I miss that. Praying for you, Derek. Damn, Gina, one shot of that Patron and it's gonna be on Usher. Oh. With power, what a duo with Parsons. Gina with the zing, I love it. Do you think Ridgeway may get some snaps this week? Don't know if he'll be active this week or not. The drawing bowl does not recognize Eagle fans. The bowl throws it up. If Eagle fans end up doing super chats, then they're in the hopper. I mean, clearly there's a lot more Dallas Cowboy fans than Eagle fans. Oh, by the way, we got to make. I got an Eagle fan a Cowboy fan that has family members that are Eagle fans, and we got 3 Eagle things to make. Don't look so excited about it. You think the Eagles win? I'm hoping that the Eagles, get jacked up by Kirk Cousins. Because, see, not only is that a loss, but losing to Kirk Cousins makes it even worse. Yeah, he did put his eggs in one basket with the rookies. He really did. I want a Russ jersey because of the band with the 21. Okay. Don, most of them are hurt. Have you ever heard anything about Dallas signing Art? No. Somebody had sent me a video that said the Cowboys signed Kaepernick, which was a clickbait one.
Michael Irvin said the best thing about Kaepernick. He hasn't played for 5 years. How good do you think he really going to be about 5 years?
I've been saying that quite a bit.
He said that to Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith said, "Why don't y'all sign Kaepernick?" Full of it.
Why can't we bring in Dak's replacement and let him develop under Dak for a few years? That's easier said than done. You need to be in a position where you can draft somebody there. But the Cowboys, they don't draft quarterbacks very high. They believe in their own guys. Philly D, what's up, man? Long time no see. Alan, they're back in the game 1 or 2. In a game or 2. Zeke is going to have a huge game. Darlene, shout out to Darlene. He would have had a big one last week had Kellen Moore used him.
They had one play when he would have got the first down, and then they decided that they wanted to throw it to CD.
Firebird 67. All right, so what else we got, Mike? You have any more anger you want to throw out here before we end the show? No, you got it all off your system? Okay. All right, just checking. Just checking. You think Jalen Hurts is good? No.
I mean, Jalen Hurts is like middle of the road.
Nope.
Which is not good.
He's good at running. He's a good running back.
I mean, he's middle of the road.
But, he's got people around him. I'll be there, Mark. Okay. Shout out to David Wiley. Don, not Washington, not Dak, Gallup, maybe. Bill Parcells told Jerry to get Sean Payton. Mr. Holmes, for my 4 times, I'm not even trolling. Who said you were trolling, Twan? I mean, I've seen you say that you're here not to troll. I appreciate that. Quentin Scott, Dallas Cowboys win. You be careful out there. Casey, definitely be careful out there. Is Jalen better than Cooper Rush? Yeah. I don't know. Well,
I mean, Jalen Hurts has more wins to his Cooper
Rush has a better winning percentage. He's got 100%.
He only played one game, one start in his career. One start.
Mark, you think Mike gets fired if we go 2 or 3? I actually can't blame this on Mike McCarthy. Quite frankly, Jerry needs to fire himself before he fires Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy's hamstrung because he can't make any.
You got to have the horses.
It's not that. It's just that Mike McCarthy cannot call plays or say anything to Kellen Moore.
Shout out to you, Ruben.
Kellen Moore is the play caller and all that. And that's the Joneses because they're the ones that put him in. That said we're going to keep Kellen Moore. Is their golden child.
Well, I tell you what. I have a feeling that with my luck, come Sunday night, I'll be eating this chip. I have that feeling. And here's the thing. The Cowboy blue chip.
Ding, someone hit a nail on the head.
If the Cowboys win,
Mike McCarthy should get some of the blame because he doesn't know the
I'll eat the chip.
He doesn't know the offense. Alan Williams.
Alan Williams says he does have.
He still gets on the blame for not knowing the offense.
It doesn't matter, though, if you don't have receivers that can get open.
But you should at least know the offense.
David Wiley says Kellen Moore should have been gone a long time ago.
He should have been gone with
I was hoping somebody was going to hire him as a head coach, and then he was going to be gone.
With Jason Garrett.
Yes, Dirty Sanchez. That's exactly it.
And the other thing, too, is as well as the Dolphins play, do you think they're glad that they passed up on Kellen Moore? Because that was their number 2.
Crazy Corvette. I'm going to kidnap you from Michael. That sounds kind of, Crazy Corvette. Okay. In India, the peppers were spread on fences to keep the elephants away. Damn. Oh, snap. When do you eat the chip? If the Cowboys win against Cincinnati, I'll eat it after the game. Mark, we're going to eat. I agree, Herbert, because unfortunately, when Jerry's gone, we got Stephen Jones. They're never going to sell a team. Why would they sell a team? They don't have to win. Listen, we can be inept and they're still going to make money. More is Jason Garrett Jr.
You're right about that. Because calling the same plays, he's the same playbook.
Darlene says I'm going to have to eat about 10 of those to make Dallas win. Okay. Golf can match Washington. Minnesota's D is what Phillies want to be. Carolina can beat New York. Just saying. Uh-oh. The psychopath has spoken. All right. Time to get your shot glasses ready, y'all. And tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we will be doing our usual Zoom call. Channel members will be able to Zoom in and call us and say, hey, what the hell is going on around here? But right now, get that shot glass. Appreciate everybody being here. Good night, everybody. You don't have to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here because we turning off the lights.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.